All right, so welcome everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the platform. We're going to be going through our marketing tool, which is called Simply Be Found. You got Dean and I here. I can't believe, Dean, that we've actually been around for 4 years at this point. It's been a heck of a journey, and I just cannot believe it's 4 years, but we're going to go through. We're going to talk about why we created each piece, how customers are how members are using each of those pieces, and along with how you could use it to be able to grow your business and how you should be using the platform to get the most results out of it. Dean, anything you want to say before we get started?
Well, basically, I'm going to make comments as we're going through it. I get questions from our members asking, what does this do for them? And I'll interject as we get to those because like even this home screen, people look at it and they see things and they're not really sure how to interpret stuff all the time. So let's start with the home screen. But I think it's long overdue. I mean, I looked at our left panel just now, and like you said, we've been doing this for 4 years. When we first started out, there was only 4 or 5 things on that left panel, and look what we with member feedback, what we've added to the platform over the last 4 years. It's been great, and I want to thank everybody for all that feedback.
Oh, I want to thank everybody for that feedback too. It's been an absolute great journey. And it's one of those things to where I also want to say that we are inside of one of our demo environments. There might be some stuff that kind of goes wrong inside of here. This is what I use for testing. I like to say that right out of the gate, but it allows us to show some of the new features that are coming out. Anything that's on here should be launched out today. If it's not currently on your tool, make sure you let us know if it's not inside your platform access. But let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing when you log into the platform is you are going to see your local SEO score right here in that top left-hand area. That local SEO score is what our algorithm thinks you are getting for results right now. It is looking at what you've done, what it sees on each of the different networks. It does not just focus on Google. It focuses on Google. It focuses on voice search. It focuses on Bing, Apple. It looks at your whole entire local SEO score. We ended up getting rid of reports because we think most of the reports that are generated by Google and all the different parties are BS and that they really don't match up. So we want to be able to give you a score that you know where you stand at. The score is a suggested rate, and it does not mean that you're only at 80%. And if you're at 80% or more, you're actually doing really good because it's really hard to get it to be 100% and keep it there because the algorithm is constantly changing. Anything you want to add to that at all, Dean, as far as
the other thing that members need to understand is that score goes up or down based on their activity. When we go through this platform, it isn't just if you're not doing anything, that score is going to drop. I mean, just because that's the whole point is to make you motivated to do the marketing suggestions that we require. So the more you use it, the higher that score is going to be. But like you said, I have seen 100% every once in a while, but it never stays there. I mean, I've saw some people that were doing everything and they got up there and then it dropped back down just because it's just the way things are working. So it is, if you're in the 50 range, it means that you have some things you need to be doing. But I think 80% or higher is really good.
80% or higher, I think, is an absolute great spot when I look at it. The next spot is your to-do list. Your to-do list is what that algorithm's looking at for us and what you need to be able to do to be able to increase your results. It's going to pop things up like if you don't have a logo inside of the system. If you haven't done a post in a while, if you have any reviews that need to be responded to or any photos, it'll actually tell you that inside your to-do list. It makes it simple for you to do those actions right from here. Like if I wanted to do a post, I could go right in a post and do that from right here without having to come over here to be able to do that. Is there anything you'd like to add on the to-do list at all for how we do the to-do list for your marketing for local SEO?
Well, basically all we're doing is that we make recommendations based on the kind of business you're in the to-do list. And when you see something on there, it doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's a suggested activity that you should be doing. And the more you do those activities, the better your score is going to be. So
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Down here is going to be where you're going to have your business submitted to. So The green checks right here, that means it is out there. If it is a little gray, like a little Wi-Fi signal looking thing, that's going to be changed out to being a red X here real soon. If it's that, that means it's not connected. Now, just because you are connected does not mean you're going to be found on those networks. If for any reason you ever find that you're not being found on Apple Maps or Siri or Alexa or any of those devices, you need to contact us and let us know. That means there might be a problem, because what we do is we take your data, we blast it out to all of those networks, and we don't necessarily always know if they picked up that data, if they have not picked up that data, because they don't necessarily always tell us. We have a bunch of stuff getting ready to happen with Apple Maps. That whole process and everything they have coming out for the new iOS 17 is going to be absolutely killer as far as that goes. We're going to have a lot of changes coming for that. So I just want to kind of announce that inside of here. We have a great relationship with them, and that relationship is actually going to be getting bigger, which is going to be absolutely awesome. When you're talking to members and you're talking about where we submit to, Dean, we go up to 300 different places. Doesn't mean you're going to be found on all 300 places, because it's going to take off if you're not a restaurant or a home service provider, or if you're not a doctor's office. The average is anywhere between 60 and 120 locations, depending on what industry you're on, that you're going to go to. But we do work with up to 300 different networks. When you're talking to members, Dean, is there anything that is confusing on this part, or anything you want to cover more in detail?
Well, the biggest thing, Rob, is we tell everybody that we're going to 300 networks, but we don't show all 300 networks. We show what we consider the most significant networks out there that the information is being pulled from. Do you concur with that?
Yep.
With that discussion? Because that's how I explain it to everybody, because there are going to be networks that if you're a home service business or versus a lawyer, where you're found at in those networks is going to be different. So that's why we
100%.
all of them. These are the consistencies between all the different types of industries out there that we feel is important for everybody to see.
When we added the 300 networks, just so you know, Dean, when we went up to the 300 networks, it's because we wanted to expand our reach for our members and be able to get them out to more places so they have more opportunities. But these are what I would consider the main nuts and bolts of every single local SEO campaign. You have to make sure you're being found on voice search. You have to make sure you're found on the local searches. You have to be found on social media, and you got to be found on maps. If your business is not being found on those 4 areas, you are going to run into problems, and you're not going to be found, which means you are going to miss out on opportunities. And so we go out to those others. I consider those bonus points. There's some of those networks no one's ever heard of. But what that does is it creates a backlink to your stuff, and it's going to give you more of a score, because what happens when any of the search engines do a search for you. So if you go out to Alexa and you do a search, or out to Google or Bing or any of those networks, and you search for, a roofer near me, or a landscaper near me, or whatever it might be, chiropractor near me, what it's going to do is it's going to try to deliver the best results. It's going to go through and scan all the sites it sees that it considers to be priority, and make sure that your name, your phone number, your address, your website address, what used to be just NAP, it's checking to make sure all of that information is correct. It wants to know that that is the most accurate information it could possibly ever deliver, because it wants to be able to keep users coming back and searching. It doesn't want to give stuff that's not a legit business, outdated information, wrong phone numbers. It doesn't want to deliver that, because if it delivered those types of results, nobody's going to use that search engine, no matter if it's a voice search or if it's on the computer or what it might be. But that's what it wants to do. It wants to deliver the best result it possibly can. So the more spots you are the higher the opportunities. And it's some back end stuff that's kind of being worked to be able to get that business there. And we submit all business data every night at midnight to all of our networks. So we send it out regardless if you make a change, it is sent out.
Right. And there's a key point that you just made there. NAP, your name, address, phone number.
Yep.
Consistency. All these networks that you see here are getting your information that's on our platform. So it's always consistent and it's always the same. So that's a big point, because you'll hear people saying your NAP isn't right, or you're not being found. It's because whatever reason, but that's what we've done. We've consolidated it. All this information is unified and consistent to all these different networks. That's the key.
And one big thing I want to be able to make clear to all of our members is you are still going to get those phone calls saying you're not registered on voice search. You're not your voice search registration is incomplete. Your Google listing is incomplete. All they're doing is they're scanning all business profiles. They're sending out usually a robocall, or they're giving some poor sales guy a list and he has to call, and they're going to call you, and you might even increase those phone calls when you are being found, because you're easy to get. They don't have to do anything. All they do is just take your money and they run, and they don't have to do anything if you're already being found everywhere. And because all they do is send your information out once for a lot of them. I mean, some of them do some stuff behind the scenes, but a lot of them just do that. There's a lot of those call centers that come in. I know with your other business, you get a ton of those phone calls every day. So I want to make it clear, this is not going to stop those phone calls. And just because they say you're not registered, they're going off of a script. I mean, we get those phone calls for us, for my marketing agency that really doesn't do much anymore. And then also on the Simply Be Found site. Hey, you're not being found. Did you even look to see what kind of company we are?
Yeah.
Is the question I like to ask. They're like, well, no. Well, then how do you know if I'm not being found? Well, you're on this list. Well, great. I'm on your list. We do what you're doing. So tell me. And then they hang up and they get all frustrated and done for some of them. But you got to watch out for that stuff as a business owner.
And it looks like my internet went down because I'm frozen right now, Rob.
Yeah, it looks like you are. I can still hear you okay, Dean. So
okay.
Let's go ahead.
Well, let's just leave me as an avatar then going forward. So let's go ahead.
Yeah, let's see what happens. You're going to love technology. We're just going to keep going through.
At least I don't have a weird-looking face going on right now, the ugly face thing going on, So
right. I'm not going to comment for how you look right this second.
Okay, come on. Okay. Let's talk about
So your next thing is posts.
Yes.
And when you come in here to create a post inside of Google Direct, it's called update, is what they call it. We call it post because it's nothing but a post that goes out there. So all you have to do, you can see all the posts that you've ever had go out. You can edit them technically from here and delete them from here. But all you have to do is just click on create a post. You can add a photo and be able to write a summary. Now that summary allows you to do up to 1,500 characters, as you can see right here. That is, I want you to treat just like you would a blog. I want you to do it as a mini blog. I want you to put it out there. You can do out to Google Business Profile and to Facebook. If you do a call to action, I recommend going to a website. So if you do a blog on your website, talk about that blog post, send them to your blog. This gives you a lot of local SEO value. You should be doing on average between 3+ posts a week as a local business to get the most opportunities. 70% of the businesses I talk to and members that sign up for the platform were never doing posts before they signed up with us. It's a hidden gem that a lot of business owners see a lot of instant results from just because they haven't done it before. And all of a sudden they're like, whoa. But think about that as taking that information and injecting that information directly into that search result. It's an awesome opportunity for business owners. What would you say about posting?
The other thing about on posts here, when you said Google and Facebook, what people don't understand is you can save your energy. Like if you want the same exact thing to go to Google Business Profile and to Facebook, you just have to highlight both of them. Simultaneously do that in the same action. You can also the other thing too is I've been doing a post, or I'm doing it. I get the phone call, and down at the bottom there, you can save your draft and you can come back to it. And also, if you have time during the day, you can actually schedule out for the entire week. If you want a post to go out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can do this. I think we can do it up to a year in advance. I wouldn't recommend that, but at least a week, maybe the month. But you can schedule everything out for that. That time frame. If you're going to get busy next week and you have time this week, you can put those schedules out, and you don't have to come back and revisit that way.
I agree 100%. I mean, that is one of the big features that can happen. You can schedule on all of our different tools. You can do it directly from the platform. I see business owners that do their own posts. I see business owners that have their staff members do posts, or their wife, or whatever it might be. It's a combination. So whatever works good for you, you can always have them save it as a draft, and then you come back and do those. I see a lot of business owners doing that as well. The next piece inside of the platform is photos. Photos works almost identical as posts. When you do an upload, you're injecting that information. You can only go to Google Business Profile with posts, but you can add that photo in there. That gives you more opportunities. Like if you just did a project and you want to be able to showcase that on your Google Business Profile, you could definitely do that right from here. What would you add onto photos, Dean? Can you see my screen still, or did you lose that too?
No, I just minimized it for a reason. I was seeing if my camera would kick back on if I did that. But no, I can still see your screen just fine. But the other thing too with the photos is always remember that take current photos. If you can take it, you can upload them from your computer, from your phone to get that information out there. So. And even if, do we want to talk mobile right now while we're at it on that? Because if you take a photo, you can actually add it from your mobile device as well.
Yep. You can also do a post from your mobile device too.
Exactly. So you don't have to be, so if you're a home service business or you're out and about, you can take that picture and put a post in there right there on the spot, right from your phone. You can upload that. So that's something we've added that's really been nice. And the home services people really love that, because a lot of them work out of their trucks or their vehicles versus
they're on the go constantly, so the mobile's huge.
Yes, exactly. But it's just really important to just keep this is that visual piece that gives you a lot of value. And I've also seen some of our photos, Rob, end up because we're feeding to Bing and everything as well. Every once in a while, not always do they show up, but they grab this information and put it up there too. On some of the other networks that allow photos.
Oh, 100%. I mean, everything's all connected at the end of the day. So sometimes that happens. We just don't go direct to them. I mean, I tell everybody once they put their information out there, it's like letting the genie out of the bottle. You got to make sure that you are updating that information that you want out there. Don't ever put anything out, because pulling it back in sometimes is the hardest thing ever. And you never know when any of these platforms are going to have a glitch and they do multiple different things. That's probably one of our hardest things as a marketing tool, is relying on all the different networks and for them to take our information and do what they're supposed to do with it. I mean, that's probably one of our biggest challenges, and what our engineers spend most of their time doing is making sure that we're talking right to them and keeping up with their updates. I mean, Google's putting out updates constantly inside of their system. Facebook's constantly putting out those updates. They don't always tell you about those at the very beginning because it's a security risk. So I'll throw an update out there and we have to just come back and fix it. So when you run into problems in the system, it's important that you let us know. If your information's not being seen out there, is also huge to be able to put out there. The next thing inside of the platform I want to cover is events. Events are a way for, if you are doing a seminar, if you have a band coming to your restaurant, or you have something going on as a promo event or whatever, you can come in and do a creative event. And this will go out to both Google and to Facebook. It goes out to Facebook as a post. It does not go to Facebook's event page as of this moment, but that will be changing here real soon. But you can put that title, you can put a photo with it, the start time, and also you can put in a sign up link if you have a sign up for it or whatever you might have. You can go through and do that. And you can schedule these out as well. Is there anything about events you'd like to talk about, Dean?
No, there's not really. I want to add to that, but one of the things when so many people use their mobile devices, when you do that call to action, am I still there, or I think I just got lost?
No, I just messed up and went there.
Okay, I did. Okay, you're messing me up. We've got a new platform that we're working with. It's been awesome, but we still learning a little bit on there. But the big thing is like the call to action when it goes to Google, and if they're on the mobile device, if they hit that call button, it actually calls your business directly too. So if you don't want to,
that's more for posts. I probably wouldn't do a call action inside of events.
Well, you never know. They may call and say, "Can I get more information about
true.
it?" You never know what the reasoning is, but it doesn't hurt you to use that. But I would probably, especially if you're doing something on your website, I'd probably link it to your website or your landing page more so than I would the call on this particular one. But it's just something I wanted to throw out because that's available on all of them.
It is. And the next thing is offers and coupons. Offers and coupons goes directly out to your Google business profile. It is a great way to be able to put offers out there. You can put your terms and your conditions, your coupon code if you want to track it coming in. These are put directly right inside of your business profile, which I think is absolutely huge when it comes to that. And we'll tour out. I'll do another video that tours out all the different sections inside of the Google business profile. I think that would be a cool video to do. But this will go directly out there and lets everybody know. You can also have these show up inside of Facebook as well. You've got the scheduling options. You also have the call to action button in there. You're allowed 1,500 characters in this as well. It's a great opportunity to put your coupons out there. If you're doing a Velpack offer, try one inside of Google and just change your coupon code and see how many people end up making that switch. Is there anything about coupons you'd like to cover, Dean?
No, but let's just talk real quick, a real synopsis, if you will. So on posts, photos, events, and coupons, you can add a photo. And a lot of people say, I don't have the software to adjust my photos, to crop them or whatever. One of the things that we have on all four of those is we have a tool up on the top. It allows you to add the photo and crop it. So you don't have to have special software or anything like that to get the image that you want on any four of those areas that we talked about. So that's a huge piece, especially because a lot of people don't have the graphics programs. So
you can crop it right here. You can pull this down.
Exactly. And you get a little preview on the right of what it's going to look like. And when you say crop, you get it. And that's a huge piece because a lot of businesses don't have the software. They don't want to take the time. They just don't want to learn it. So it's really simple. It's a tool right there for you to grab and use.
Exactly. Questions and answers. Questions and answers is absolutely huge. As a business owner, you can take your questions and your answers and put them directly inside of your Google business profile. Make sure that you make your questions a natural language. Talk to your customers just like you normally would. You're allowed up to 4,000 characters inside of each of these. It's a great way for you to be able to put a lot of content inside of your Google business profile. It's a great way for you to be able to get found. I think almost every business should have anywhere between 30 and 50 questions and answers, or more than 50 is even better if you can. But this is a way you can do it. Now, did you know, Dean, that a customer could come in and ask a question on your Google business profile, and what they can do from that is they can leave that question, and one of your competitors or a customer can come in and answer that question. If you don't answer it as a business owner, they can redo a reply and it'll come up to the top. If you reply as a business owner, yours always comes to the very top of that list. You can't stop people from putting other comments on it. But if you have a customer replying, if they say something wrong, someone might be getting the wrong information inside there. Were you aware of that?
I was aware of that, actually. But the other thing that people need to be aware of, if a customer question comes in, sorry, I got just a little bit distracted there just for a second. But you make sure you respond to those questions too, especially if they're from customers, because anybody can respond to them, and you need to make sure that the answers that is seen by the public is what you want to be seen as well.
Yep. And that's kind of what I was just saying in there. You can also write your own and answer your own inside of there. Is there anything else you'd like to add about questions and answers? I think it's a great way to build your profile.
You know what? How many people don't even understand what that is? It is such a powerful tool. It's like you do in your FAQs, your frequently asked questions on your website. You can put them here too. And the other thing too is it's that content piece again. I mean, it's all about the content and tying that content back to your business. That's so key. We don't recommend, how often do we recommend questions and answers? I mean, for new business, you want to get the information out there, especially if you don't have anything. But
anytime you have a question or answer you want to be able to put in there, I would recommend putting in there. But you want to try to get in there as probably at least 50 total, and then just add on from there. I mean, if I get a member that calls me up and says, "Hey, I'm seeing a reduction in how often I'm being found," I might say, "Hey, go do a couple questions and answers to give yourself a little bit of a boost in there."
Right.
Did anything come new? Just to give it kind of that refresh. But that's what I recommend.
And make sure your answers are not just yes or no.
You want to be able to actually put in
that you want to really make it, because we've got some members that they go, do you do appointments at free appointments? They say yes. Well, no, tell them what you get with that. I mean, that's your chance to really talk about your business and get that information out there so people understand what you're all about. Also, the other thing too is you can edit your answers. Let's say that a question was answered. Let's say that you don't have free appointments anymore. You can actually go back in and edit that. As things change, as your business changes, you can go in and edit your responses. And that's key also to make sure that you're current with the information about your business. So people don't go, well, he says here free appointments. No, we don't do free appointments anymore. We do this. So
Exactly.
that's key.
It's absolutely key. The next piece inside is going to be our reviews tab. Inside of reviews, we have a couple different pieces. We have the reviews that shows all the reviews that you've gotten, and that's monitoring different networks and bringing those into here for you. It tells you how many reviews you have, how many you responded to, how many not responded, what your average star rating is. You can respond directly to members inside of the system. And like I said, this is a test account. That one I believe we already responded to. At least I hope we did. We also have review. We also have review generation. This allows you to come in, create different a review generation link, and allows you to be able to get reviews across any kind of platform whatsoever to increase your reviews. Which it would look like this right here. You can change out your icons. This one's pretty cool as far as that goes. It would look like this, obviously. Leave a review. Google shows your logo. Continue with Google. If you add other networks, it will come down here. I'll do a separate video on the review generation because I think it's a huge piece to be able to do.
Yes.
Leads would be the next piece inside of here. Leads are a way for you to be able to basically have a CRM directly right inside of our platform. You can literally put your entries in and be able to move them around based on what that is. Like if I was to add a new entry right here, and I'm not sure if this one's set up inside of here because we're not doing the local SEO challenge. But if you add an entry, you can actually move it around inside of there. We don't have very many people using the basic CRM. I mean, I don't know if it'll be something someone actually uses going through, but we haven't had very many people. If you are using it and you want to see something in there and you want to be able, or you want to be able to use it and it's missing something, let us know. Is there anything about leads you would talk about, Dean?
No, well, the thing is you can create each one of those columns. You'll hear people refer to them as buckets, possibly. There's different terms for it, but you can move your what's going on, where that's at in the process between those different columns or buckets, and that way you can track what's happening. But I have not had many people ask a lot of questions on it, so either they're not using it or there's no issues. So I don't know. So
we got asked for it at the very beginning. We thought it was going to be a huge thing, but it's either working really good for some people, and I have no idea it is, or no one even knows it's even there. So,
right, exactly.
Business information. This is probably the very beginning piece that you have to make sure you do. So, if you want to edit your company name, you come here to the pencil icon. You can change your company name inside of here. Click the green icon. Then you have to click on Save Changes. We have some changes coming to this to make this a little bit more user-friendly. But right now, this is where it is. Make sure your time zone is selected. If your time zone is not selected inside of here, you can definitely see to where you're not going to get the results you're looking for because your posts aren't going to be going on the right time. But you can edit any of your information, your address. If you are a service area business, and you have just, I'm going to add this real quick to ours. But if you're just a service area business and you're hiding your address from Google for whatever reason, if it's a policy or whatever it is, you make sure that you put in your city, your state, your zip, and your country still. That's going to be absolutely huge. But all you have to do is just click save. It'll automatically save that information and drop it in. Your social media links. These are the links that are going to show up inside of your actual profile for you to be able to have users click on. So this is where you put all your different social media links if you have them. Down here, don't worry about the review profile link. That's really not used at all inside of anywhere. Then you have your categories. This is where you select what category best matches you. Inside of your subcategories, you want to make sure that it's ordered in the order of importance. Like if you want it to be marketing consultant, you'd move it up to the very top of
Rob,
there.
Scroll up just a little bit, Rob. I'm losing behind the images there. No.
Oh,
there you go. Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't see what you were doing there.
Oh, I'm trying not to look down at this screen. I'm looking up.
Yeah,
but,
no, I know, but it was behind our pictures, so so that's the other thing too is on the secondary stuff, Rob. Make sure that everybody knows, or I'm gonna let everybody know that you can move it. Like if your number 2 thing needs to be is being number 5. You can move it to wherever it needs to be, and then you do the update. So that's
and then you just click confirm and it does it. Your attributes, those change for every single business. Just select what is needed for there. Your next part inside of here for business information, it's in its own area, is your business hours.
So let's back up to business information real quick, Rob.
Yeah, go for it.
Just for the members to know, you can make these changes. You can make as many changes as you want. You're not going to see it on your profile until 24 hours later. We only submit it once a day because I've had people say, well, I made a change and it didn't show up on my profile. That's because if you make a change, Google doesn't like that on the profile. So we only submit that information once a day.
We block that for the reason that,
right.
So it doesn't, your profile never gets banned. So you can make changes freely and you can get it right where you want it. We do all of our updates to all the different networks. So this just isn't going out to Google. This is the information going out to all networks.
Right.
We will have some changes coming to this, and I'll do another video when we have those changes come out, like categories. We're going to have a section for Bing categories that'll be separate, where now it opens up a broader area, and everybody will have to come in and do that. I'll let everybody know once that happens.
Right.
But this is the information our system uses. So you fill out this information one time, and it goes out up to the 300 networks.
Right. But it only goes out once a day. Just so
once
everybody
a day
knows
at midnight.
Right.
Business hours changes all the time. So if you put an update in, it takes anywhere between 3 milliseconds all the way up to 30 minutes, depending on how busy the queue is for it. But this information can be put in. You can do special hours inside of here for if you're closed on Christmas or any of those. What would you like to say about business hours, Dean?
Oh, the other thing too is we have a lot of doctor's offices and stuff that close for during the day, so the whole staff can go out. You can actually split your business hours. So, like, let's say on Friday you take a lunch, you take everybody out to lunch or whatever. You can be open from 9 to 10, and then you can add a split in your day and add more hours. Some people don't realize that that's there, and people get really when people show up at your door, if you have a physical business and you're not there, they get really irritated. So make sure you're consistent with and double check this. And make sure that your hours are consistent, but you can actually split your hours during the day so that you can, or if you have a special meeting, let's say today's Monday and on Friday, you know that you got to be closed early you can do special, you can change those hours for Friday. And if it goes forward, you can change it, or you can put it in as special hours for that day as well. Cause that's the key there. Then you're not messing around with your regular hours.
And what you do is you hit this plus icon, which I noticed inside of this version I'm on right now. I don't know if it's because of how we have the business profile set up for us. The plus button's not working, but it would normally pull it up right here. Then you just click Save Changes, and that would happen.
Exactly. And then the other thing too, it's on special hours. You can, if you know what you're going to be closed for the whole year, you can do your whole year. That way you don't have to remember that. Hey, on May 31st is or whatever, we're going to be closing, and all of a sudden it's May 30th. Oh, nobody knows that. You want to do it ahead of time so that because I think if you look at your business hours, it goes out on a weekly. You see Monday through Friday, and if it's Tuesday, you see Tuesday through Friday or Tuesday through Monday. So people will be able to see it a week ahead of time, if you will.
Exactly. Service area. Service area is now available on listings, just so everybody knows. So if you have listings with us, you now get service area. That change went into effect today. Service area is probably one of the biggest hidden gems and where we shine probably the most for a platform is it allows you, especially if you are a landscaper, a roofer, or painter, or anything in the home service area and you work from home and you want to be able to hit an area that's outside of your service area. So if you're inside of Greeley, Colorado, and you want to hit Windsor, you could do that inside of the platform, and you could kind of take your horizons and make it out there. Ours, we have it set up. I'm playing around with it doing the United States. That's an awful big area, but you can actually just say, okay, this is the areas I serve. It means that you will be brought into those searches. It doesn't mean you're going to be brought up every time, but knows now that you would be something to deliver in those areas. And I see the service area using the living heck out of this. Dean, what would you all talk about for the service area?
The other thing too is that you can actually, like in a big metropolitan area, let's say you like in Chicago, you might be in Chicago, you can do all of Chicago. But if there's specific areas, I'm using that Chicago is huge, but if you're in a city of about 60,000 people and there's a certain zip code area that you really want to concentrate in there, you can actually do the city and you can also specify a zip code area and in that area. And I think that we don't have a lot of empirical data yet on this, but my feeling is when searches happen in those areas, it's going to give you a better chance of being found because you're being found in the whole city plus this targeted zip code area. And the other thing too, you can do counties, so you don't have to just do cities. So
you can do city, county, or zip code.
Right. And a lot of people don't read that and see that, and they go,
technically do state, but it's not as big of a state. Doesn't really get counted as much.
Right, and it's just such a big area, and local SEO is really a little more concentrated than that. So it's really the areas that you want to, because some people are 50, 60 miles out, other people are not. They're only so you can really concentrate on where you want to be found and make it accurate.
Correct. And you can just go through, you can add them in, you can focus areas. So if I wanted to focus on Pennsylvania, it'll take me to that area. A good example of that would be Weld County. If I just wanted to focus on it, it'll actually box it all the way out on the map and show you exactly right where you're being covered at. And I think service area is one of those hidden gems. Our last feature that's inside of here, because we're not going to dive into settings. One thing I am going to mention inside of settings is if you come to integrations, this is where you connect your Facebook at. You connect your Facebook page right here, and then you select your default page right here, which then lets you select it and put it in. Like I said, I'm on this test account right here. But the last feature is going to be schedule coaching. Schedule coaching is available on Pro and above for plans. Dean, what would you say about our coaching?
Well, coaching allows you to actually either land on yours or my calendars or one of our coaches. But a lot of times it ends up being a conversation between us and the members. So it's a great tool. Right now, Rob and I handle most of the calls, but it's a great way for you to talk to one of us directly, and we'll talk you through, and hopefully we can do a screen share with your particular platform to talk you through any questions you have. But but you're getting that one-on-one touch, if you will, for information, specifically for your business and your situation. Because if I don't know the answer or Rob doesn't know the answer, we'll confer and get back to you as well. Because sometimes we've been stumped. I mean, I have no idea what to tell you on that. Let's put our brains together, but we will get back to you if necessary. But that's a huge piece for getting everybody started.
It is. And I want to go through a Google Business Profile real quick, Dean. I think we have enough time inside of this recording to be able to do it. I think it's beneficial to know where your information is going. So you're using you're using Simply Be Found as a tool for your business to be able to get yourself found by more local customers that are searching for the products and services you sell. So you're doing posts, you're doing questions and answers, you're doing photos, you're doing all of that. Where does that information land on Google? Well, that information lands right here. So you've got your photos. This is where all of your photos go. Your website, your directions, all that stuff. Your website is pulled from that business information piece. The other piece is your social links. So when I talked about those social links inside of business information, they land right here. So this tells Google that it's inside of there. And what would be inside? Posts land right here. So post looks like this to a business, which is absolutely huge. Questions and answers comes down right here. You can see all of the questions, and then you can see all of the answers. And like I said, anybody can come in and say, ask a question, and this is where they would come in, and then the platform would notify you on that. But this is where all that information lands. So it's like injecting that information directly into Google. It's directly injected it right into Bing. It's put it right into those search engines to help you get you that best result. And obviously, everybody knows reviews are where reviews are, your business description, all of those pieces. I think that's absolutely huge to know where each of these pieces go. So as you're looking at everything, I think that's absolutely a big piece to know, why are we doing all these things? Why are we doing posts? Why are we doing photos, events? A lot of people don't realize that Google also has a whole entire events page when we talk about events, and they say what's all going on inside of the area. So if I say Greeley, Colorado events, see all these events that are posted right here. that's where events is being submitted at. So it's being able to pull all that information in, be able to take your data, turn it into advertising, and get you in front of more customers. So that way you are able to grow your business and have more opportunities to increase your sales and to get the results you're looking for. Dean, is there anything else you'd mentioned to be able to wrap things up?
No, I think that's really a good conversation we've had. And telling people what's valuable and what, and where things are at. The event things is probably one of the biggest things that people don't realize. I mean, until I got to know you 4 years ago, I didn't know the events thing was even there. So
No.
And how many other business owners don't understand that the events is where they fall, and you can actually go see that information.
Yep. No, a lot of people don't even know it's there. I mean, it's a good feature to have. A lot of people know it's there and they're going and looking at it. It's a great way to be able to use a marketing tool like us to be able to get that information out. Like I said, it's about taking your business's data, so your photos, your content, and being able to fill your 3 pillars that are out there. So you have content, you have authority, and you have trust. It builds those up so that way you move up in the rankings and you have more opportunities as a business. Make sure you like our Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know what questions you have. If there's anything you want us to dive more into, this is just a basic overview. Most of our members are spending about 5 to 10 minutes per day inside of the platform, or about an hour a week, to be able to get the results. And thank you for taking your time to watch this 40-some minute video today. But I think it's a good deep dive. We're going to start doing more deep dives like this with Dean and I. Maybe we can get his camera fixed before this goes out. I'll see if I can pull that file out. But thanks for joining us. We appreciate all the members. And remember, you can start for free on our plan, and you can upgrade, downgrade, and you can change plans anytime, simply right from the platform.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.